And a great big hey hatty hey to all my lovely goofy goobers out there. Welcome to Comic Auzi's. Okay, I gotta start over again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And a great big hey hatty hey to all my lovely goofy goobers out there. Welcome to Animanic with Comic Auzi, where we talk about pretty much any piece of media as long as it's animated. And continuing on our Disney animated features commentary marathon, we are going to be watching Dumbo. There's a lot to unpack here, but the least to unpack here is that this is honestly one of the best Disney movies from the 1940s, bar none. Like, I think there's very little that actually compares to it. Like, if I look at my list of films from the 1940s, yeah, there's only, like, maybe one other film that technically comes within swinging distance of this one. And that's it. Everything else is kind of average. But this film in particular, really great, really great. Now, I put up in the corner, in the top right corner of the screen, you can see right there, basically what we're gonna be, basically what you need to know about tonight's film. I'm watching it via home media, and it is available on Disney+. But this means that you guys are probably going to have to wait through an 11-second disclaimer. So while I'm giving a little bit of a preamble to the movie, you guys go ahead and open up Disney+ or whatever you have available to watch the movie by. But mostly for the Disney+ people, because you'll have to wait through that. You'll have to wait through that disclaimer screen, and then after that, you can sync up with the footage on screen. See, that's the other one that I was gonna say, but I'll get to that in a moment, because I want to leave you in the dark there on which one I'm talking about, because we will be covering one of those films next week anyway. So anyway, this movie has a lot of baggage, a lot of baggage, and we will go over. I'll definitely be going over it. But with all of that baggage in mind, it is still one of Disney's best films. And I think, once again, a big element of that is a lot of the gag work. This is very similar to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There's a handful of songs, and there's a lot of funny gags. And with the exception of one song, all of the songs in Dumbo are good. They are objectively really good classic Disney songs. One song is an exception to that. It's a song that you never hear Disney acknowledge and is in this movie. It's unavoidable. So, but be glad on Disney Plus and everywhere else that you can find this movie. Unlike Fantasia last week, this film is not edited. So we can talk about the problematic elements that are in this movie, you know, just unabashedly. It's absolutely no reason to pussyfoot around it. But now it is 6 o'clock officially on my time zone, so I'm gonna get the movie ready to start. And as long as everybody else has their copy of the movie ready, we shall begin in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. RKO Radio Pictures. Now, this is something I did not say immediately, but I'm being reminded of almost immediately. The circus. The circus aesthetic. If there was ever a reason why I love clowns and the circus, this movie would be it. God. Based on a book by Helen... okay. We're kind of just rolling by the opening credits, aren't we? Okay. Jack Kinney, now that's a name associated with Goofy cartoons. Also, character design cannot be understated. Love this music, by the way. This music is absolutely fun. Just evoking the vibes of a circus. I just love it. Claude Coates again. I can imagine what backgrounds Claude Coates is responsible for. Someone named Walt is doing animation in this movie. And here, I think this is definitely Claude Coates' background art. Okay. Yep. Yep. Ka-crum. Just this intense opening of the movie, and then it's a stork. This is a nice little song too. It's a nice little ditty. Yep. Very catchy. Also, hello to Squattala and Blueheart. Oh no, this movie takes place in Florida! Somebody help us now! I guess Walt has had his eyes on Florida for a long time. I mean, it could be for potential deadbeat dads. Don't try to get away. You can't get away. Also, just some delightful little gags with the babies being delivered. The kangaroo, Joey hops in. Just lovely. And right to sleep. Yep. Cute. Little kitties. Yep. And the giraffe. And this is where the scene gets sad. Honestly, you say villain song, but I'd compare it more to Santa Claus is Coming to Town, where it's like, oh, 1940s. Did you ever really think through the lyrics of your songs? It sounds a little intimidating. And, yeah, she feels left out. And here we go. Icon for the ages, everybody. Like, if this ain't the song that everyone remembers from the movie, well, then what are we even doing? This movie opens with one neat little ditty about the storks in order to contextualize, you know, babies being born without having to acknowledge, you know, animal husbandry. Oddly, very white circus workers here. This is coming up later. This will come back later, I swear. Anyway. And here go the elephants into their cart. And no. Gonna move on. It's sad. Guys, you think maybe there might be too many elephants in the cart? Pfft, rude. I'm wondering what that accent is. That guy, his accent is so over the top. And I've never been able to pin it down. Like, he's just vaguely, a la barbe. Like, I don't know what that accent is. It's so weird. And then everybody's just riding the train. And you gotta appreciate, a lot of this is just such a goofy Walt Disney Production Circus in the background. WDP Circus. Love that. That's a cute little Easter egg. And the shadow. I always loved this. This is probably where my love of trains came from. This specific character in this specific song. And the ride that he has at Disneyland. Just everything. Everything about this. Love trains. I was obsessed with trains as a kid because of this so much. And here comes Sterling Holloway. He's always rolling his R's a lot, and that's what's hard to pinpoint. All aboard, all aboard. Yeah. He kind of sounds like the director in that one Daffy Duck cartoon, Daffy Goes to Hollywood, where he's like, turkey with all the trimmings. In fact, those guys could probably be parodying the same guy in the movie business, but only people in the 40s would get the joke. Or even only movie people would get the joke. You never know. I love this guy. Stork is just... He's doing his best, darn it. Highway 6. Like, he's trying to map out where the circus is. Got a good sight line on the friggin' train from up there. Well, Mr. Stork, you are lucky that he didn't fall all the way down to Earth. Like, good lord. All he did was sink into the cloud. You know, I think that's probably the CAG here. Oh, Lambert the Sheepish Lion. I love that cartoon. It was like he's a little late. Now, there's a guy who's credited with a lot of older sound effects in the Disney stuff. I don't know, it seems like Ward Kimball or something? Really love that. That's really nice. They're actually very happy about that. It begins. I feel like that same woman would come back and voice the pompous flower. No, wait. No, the pompous flower had to win somebody else. God, she just wants her baby. It feels so bad for her. Actually, imply this, that she's a Mrs. Jumbo. That implies the existence of a Mr. Jumbo. No, it's so cute. Yeah, you're right, you're right. It's like, her role in Alice in Wonderland is actually the Queen of Hearts. But she has the same vibes in this movie that the pompous purple flower has. And somebody else in the audience, welcome to the show. I always love this. Yep. Never understood the male hook because it's just like, never think about it. I know, right? Just the build up, and then he's adorable. He's the cutest thing in the world. Look at the animators just having so much fun. And the voice actors, you also gotta think about that. This movie has a lot of dialogue compared to some of the older Disney films. This definitely leaned a lot on its dialogue. She seems like she would have been a great aunt if it weren't for everything coming up right now. Yeah. She's so dumb. those things, like, you don't think about as, like, such an easy name to make fun of, and then, well... I just realized something. That the bodies of the elephants, their heads just disappeared. That was it. It's like, I was always wondering, it's like, why are their butts showing when their heads get smacked? And it's like, no, in an animation brain, they just removed the cells of their heads from the background art that the cells were placed on top of, which was their cloth covers on their backs. And here we go. More iconic sequences here. The Little Legend That Could. Because let us forget, this is not just an adaptation of Dumbo. This is an adaptation of The Little Engine That Could for the first few minutes here. Now, something I loved about the design, always enjoyed about the design, was how the headlamp is actually like a cap. It's like it has the brim, and then it looks like a little cap that like a train worker would wear, a little like engineer's cap. It's such a clever design. And then everything's all gray and dismal as we roll into town for the circus. Careful. And adorable little Dumbo. Train's gonna let off some steam. He looks tired. It looks almost like he's frowning. And here we go. It begins. The element, and here we are. The elephants are helping roll things. I don't know if this was common in the circus to train elephants to do just as much work as the rest of the ground workers. And here we go. Never learn to read or write. The Roustabout song is not a song that you're going to hear Disney acknowledge anytime soon, but it's still on their streaming platform. And again, the elephants are doing just as much work here. It's so interesting. It is regrettably catchy, you know? I mean, I was watching Osmosis Jones, like, last week, and it featured Kid Rock, and the song that they featured from Kid Rock was very unfortunately catchy. It's like, God, get those lyrics out of my head. They say they'll get paid on Circus Day, huh? And we're not even done yet. We're rolling things out. And most of the lyrics here are just about them doing the work. It's like, what else do you have here? And now, it just... You gotta wonder, why are they doing this, right? Because, like, with Casey Jr. slamming and the animals getting rattled around, it's like, oh, it's a cartoon, it's funny. But what's the point of this song? It's very moody, it's very dour, it's in a minor key. What is the use of this song? It's not a joke. They're just... I guess it's just getting all too real. Oh, here we go. Grab that rope, you hairy ape. As if the silhouetted gorilla-like figures in Pinocchio weren't ambiguous enough. What do you think the intended reference was? When a line like that shows up in a song like this. And finally the circus is in town, we can talk about pleasant things. Just know the Roustabout song is a God, do I really want to say black mark? It's a mark on this movie. Anyway, here we get, like, they prepare for the circus and it's unfair. Yeah, that's the idea, but it's like, still, like, there's still coded in a lot of racism there. Still coded in a lot of racism there. Now, this is a good gag. Just showing how, you know, docile the gorilla actually is, how domesticated it is. And the hippo's still sleepy. Ah, and all these characters riding the camels. Can't quite cover that up. The camel's nice enough not to spit, I guess. And here come the real funny guys. The clowns! And honestly, I really love all of these clown designs. And, yeah, again, the people riding the elephants for half a second there. Like, good lord. Though, I do love the little doll they gave to Dumbo. It's like, I'll make him feel included. Off he goes. Eh. Oh. And this is what it's all framing. It's framing as like, oh, the circus is all fun, but now we have to deal with someone who lives in the circus. That, the one we're focusing on, though, being Dumbo. And isn't bath time literally exactly like this? It's like... And everybody did that in their chocolate milk, I'm sure. Now, did anyone else as a kid like pretending to be an animal for a minute? I don't think I ever pretended to be an elephant, but if I ever had the thought process, probably would have, because having that trunk would be fun enough on its own. And, you know, you see reasons and excuses for why they would think Dumbo is so weird and make fun of him, but it's like, it's so rude. It's like, his ears, it's like, oh, maybe he'll grow into them, is like the thought that you'd think. And for a movie that leans a lot on dialogue, here's a completely fun and wholesome moment just of the family being family. And then Mama doesn't talk a lot. Like, she doesn't. Like, she had a few lines at the front, like, with the stork. That's pretty much all she said so far in the movie, and I think that's all she ever says, save for the song later. So, yeah. Being normal is overrated, exactly. Look at how cute they made him. And then, here come the people. Come to gawk. I'm guessing that... And then disaster struck. I love that they designed this kid with giant ears himself. It's like, really showing how the mocking is like... Yeah. Okay, you'd think that he wouldn't be allowed to do that. You really can't. Okay, I think the guy is supposed to be Russian, cause he's rolling his R's. He's like, yes, the. Oh wait, no, now I'm doing fake German. Wait. Do Germans roll their R's? I don't know. He could be German, he could be Russian. Actually. All aboard! No, Russian doesn't sound right. I don't know. He is so... Yeah. She's not having any of this shit. Italian or Irish? Well, definitely not Irish. I think I'd recognize an Irish accent. Aww. It's like, we're here. You wouldn't like any elephant when they're angry. It's just the saddest thing in the world right here. To say nothing of the gossip that keeps happening. Good grief. This is just the gossip circle. Yeah. Oh boy. That's so rude. Now look at him. Look at Timothy here being a friggin' Chad. Sure. Your shame. Jeez. Good lord. Just rude as fuck. Also love seeing the drop shadow from Celluloid. Just like with Dumbo back there. Always love seeing that drop shadow. It's also, it really shows you humans made this. Toin to. At least he's got kind of like the Bugs Bunny Brooklyn voice going on, so there's at least that. Yep. Also, he's just having a laugh now. He still has the audacity to make fun of them and call them names. Doing the Napoleon thing. Also, why does he have a circus outfit? Does he work for the circus? This is so cute. If this movie is cute, versatile and useful. Aw. I love that, the Casey Jr. whistling here. Really is a catchy little ditty. Yeah. Yep. They would use that exact same fanfare in Alice in Wonderland. Man, did they just save that recording on standby? Just completely. That's one hell of an idea. Yep. Yeah. Good night, Joel. Okay, I'm getting Mario. Mario vibes. It's-a me, Mario. Would an Italian really roll their eyes like that? Roll their R's like that? Anyway, but like, but I love that little janitor silhouette character. We never see him again, but he's got great design, and the one line he has, like, yeah, what's the climax? I love his voice. I love that janitor. I wish we could have seen more of him. Anyway, this is also a great moment where okay, I'm talking about like a lot of just the moments of the movie, but like I really want to talk about the animation here. So like, really well done. Also, notice that those lines on the hat are not black. In fact, a lot of the lines as line art in this movie are not black. They're actually slightly colored. I love the way they're drawing Timothy like some ghost. Yes. Yeah. Gotta love the alliteration on that. I love how Timothy doesn't like take credit for anything. I mean, like, he's a mouse. What would he take credit for? Also, he could hear the mouse talk. Like, we don't address that ever. He can hear the mouse talks to him. You gotta love the lighting, the color choice. This movie is so well drawn. And again, here's some more fun circus music. And they're just... Alright, this scene gets pretty intense. It's like, sure, they're doing the act now. Something that's a little taken for granted is that they had to have rehearsed this, right? How many elephants would it take to pop a circus ball? That is some sturdy-ass ball. Jeez. We just really highlight. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. Oh boy. Okay. He can do it. Well, here we are. Yeah. It's not nearly as dramatic. Oh no. I feel that. That's intense. Don't fall down, don't fall down. Off he goes. You're off to the races there, Dumbo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Desperate times, I suppose. He bent that needle. Never noticed that. The needle actually got bent. Oh lord. Ah, no. Oh lord. Oh shit. And if this ain't a precursor to that scene in The Lion King, I don't know what is. Oh no! Everybody run for cover. Yeah, I'd run too! God. Can you imagine? It's like, you're not just wrestling one elephant in this animation. You got like them stacked up and, well, a pyramid of pachyderms. Good lord. A lawsuit? This is a traveling circus. What could they be sued for? Well, forget the lawsuit. He's gonna need a whole new set of equipment. Oh, Lord. God. It's just the scale and the drama of that animation just... Oh... Oh boy. Feeling pretty somber right now. Good lord. Yeah, you might want to put that trunk down. Here's your gossip queen. Oh boy. Good lord. You guys, you jerks, you absolute dunces. They're really having fun with this, aren't they? Let's just put a fire under the tent. There won't be any hazards there. Good lord. I'm getting a lot of fun gags here. But a lot of them are kind of at the expense of Dumbo here. Which just makes them kind of sad. Well, and ouch. It's really sad. Jeez. No. Yep. This movie is very short, yes. A lot more similarities to a cartoon than you'd think. Poor Dumbo. He's just not having it. I gotta love Dumbo's little clown hat and collar, though, because they are actually really cute. I mean, they're iconic for him, too. Like, you go to Disneyland, you ride the ride, and that's what he's wearing. It's like... they kind of go hand in hand. And the only other thing we get to hear Dumbo's mother say... Aww. This whole sequence is just so moving and sweet and just... I always love this moment with the monkeys. It's just so animated. I mean, it's a pretty delightful lullaby. It's a nice little song. The ostriches. And the kangaroo's rocking chair. Again, even in this little moment, they're putting in the few little gags. Just to lighten the mood a little bit. Just so... it's just so sad. Interesting logic. And there we're at it. Foo boy. Right? And one would think this would not help the hiccups. The animation is really super delightful. Oh no. Timothy just... Good lord. Oh boy. Oh boy. Again, we're just having the voice actor go off here. There's a little nice effects animation right there on the water. Water champagne mix. Good lord. He's just making bubbles. A little woozy. Nope. Just a couple of joints. Yeah, no, we're just... And this is the animators having fun. Well, I'm trying to think of what else would match the color of water you couldn't tell the difference. Champagne's the only thing that comes to mind. What? The bubbles are really pleasantly pretty slick. Could be vodka, maybe gin. I guess it depends which one has a fizz to it, because it has to fizz. They popped the cork on it and it has a fizz. Now that's a ginormous bubble. Oh boy, here we go. Oh lordy. Probably. Maybe not. Did you see it? And here, now we're just having the animators going off. Supposedly drawn from experience. What does it look slash feel like to be drunk and hallucinating something? And also just an excuse to have a whole lot of fun with really surreal imagery. This right here is where the animation goes off. A lot of it being done in a loop, but also for what is being put together is just, it is so well done. Yep, I think Dumbo is seeing what you're seeing. Now, if Claude Coates wasn't responsible for some of these surreal background arts, then I don't know what he was responsible for in this movie. This was always really wild. Just going off. Just... they're just having a lot of fun. This fucked up monstrosity. Oh, God. Now we're just going wild. Oh, we'll get to Heffalumps and Woozles, don't you worry. But this in and of itself is just the fever dream, the hallucinatory moment just for Dumbo and Timothy, and just going completely wild. And a lot of these backgrounds are so minimalist because it's just going insane. And again, this is some really beautiful art to be applied to this incredibly silly, surreal sequence. It's just so well done. He's an elephant canoe. It's such a smooth transition between that. It's done so smartly. We're getting a little cold here. It's hot. And now things start getting a little more colorful. Seizure warning coming up. It does get pretty flashy. Like, it's already been kind of flashy before, but we're gonna get the actual, flashing, like, rapid fire back and forth. But again, the animation is really well done. And let's just go completely insane. Yep, there it is. Just blue and black. These pink elephants going all over. And trains, it's a roller coaster, it's a race car, it's water skiing, it's insane! And then the beautiful transition to clouds. Just, so nice. It is so nice! You see that cloud actually popped in before the elephant turned into it. And the music, yes, can't deny the music, but I'm talking about animation, damn it. And now we calm down. We calm down for 5 seconds. Please, calm down. Ah, boy. Oh, I can't believe my ears. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now, you'd be surprised too, admit it. Oh boy. I guess they're on the other side of the tracks. The tree is their territory, their neighborhood. Good lord. Yep. Someone's hungover. Just having a laugh. Just look down. Lord. This is the point of the moment right here. It's like the crows could have been anyone. Careful. Oh, that's gonna, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Well, at least he had a somewhat soft landing. Just leave well enough alone, I guess. The reflection drawn in the water is so well done. Just squiggle. No. Good lord. That's ridiculous. Yep. Ugh. Oh boy. Now, you wonder about what this seems like back in the day? See, that leader crow, according to some behind-the-scenes information, is apparently named Jim. Yeah, Jim the Crow. Let's have fun. But to point out, Jim here is the only one being voiced by a white guy, whereas supposedly the rest of the singing being done in this sequence, at least the singing, is being done by a black men's choir, which makes you wonder how this was taken at the time. A lot of this is a lot of minstrel show and shit. Like, even the costume choices, like the hats, the striped shirts on a few of them, and just, good lord. There's no disguising what it looks like in the slightest. And here comes Timmy to chew him out for laughing. Jeez. Timothy really laying in on those guys just for laughing at Dumbo because Dumbo's had enough of it. It's like, he's really standing up for him. God, I'm crying. I'm tearing up right now. It's actually heart-wrenching. They're getting him in a huddle to try to explain how they can. Oof. Now you want acknowledgement? If you'd been to Disneyland before they changed it, you'd be handed a wooden black feather as a magic feather to let you know that you're one of the next people in line for Dumbo. And it was really cute, not gonna lie. Flap him, Dumbo. Flap him. Leap from Pride Rock. It really does look like the end of Pride Rock right there, doesn't it? With the little cliffside thing. Off he goes. I mean, it's hard to tell. Look at you, Dumbo, you got it! Probably. But like, you really think about this. You remove the Ben Dunn scenes and just think, I will have seen about everything. It's like, the song is great. Out of the context. Get drunk, it'll make you fly. No, I don't think that was the idea. I think it was like Dumbo could always... Again, the whole premise here that we're about to unveil, and that Timothy and the Crows already realize, is that, of course, he's always been able to fly. It's just that he needed the confidence to do it. And, well, alcohol is sometimes referred to as liquid courage. Pretty big threshold. Yep. Dumbo's got it. Off he goes! You got this, Dumbo. Just pull up. Just pull up. Oh, this is intense. Oof. Just a face that Dumbo is pulling. Do it! Holy shit. And off he goes! Off he goes! He's going! This is really a victory moment for Dumbo. It's like... And it's like... Unlike Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, this isn't like a, oh, be useful or entertaining and you can make it far. It's like... It really does actually feel like the moral is be careful who you make fun of, because you just gotta watch yourself. Love that the clowns get it in the end too. Dumbo the Revenge. Bum bum bum. And here it is to you guys, always gossiping and talking behind my back. Mother Elephant source to fame. Insured for $1,000. Sets altitude records. Good lord. Dumbo manager signs Hollywood contract. I mean, hey, the mouse can talk, so he might as well. Even Casey Jr.'s happier. Man, the drop shot on there from the celluloid, just love it. You gotta admit, as, like, okay, no you don't. I'll explain this in a minute. What I will admit is that as racist as the Crows are, as caricatures and carryovers from minstrel shows and all that comedy inherent in them, honestly, I still like them. They don't, like, I don't find them nearly as rude as some other caricatures I've seen in shorter cartoons, right? Like in a bunch of Looney Tunes where they do a lot of those blackface gags, and I think part of it is that they're Crows. I mean, like the Cab Calloway rooster in that one Porky Pig cartoon where he was auditioning a bunch of different roosters to try to get his chickens to lay, only for the Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra roosters to come in and actually do it. The Cab Calloway rooster just being black with an orange beak. It's like, I don't know, there's something about a bird that makes it less uncomfortable. Definitely not great that Jim, the crow named Jim, God, is voiced by a white guy. Definitely not great. Definitely not great. But come on, even as recently as like the 80s, fucking Jess Harnell voiced Brer Rabbit in Splash Mountain. Jess Harnell voiced Brer Rabbit in Splash Mountain. You can't hold that against Jess Harnell. He's getting paid to do a job. You don't hold that more against Disney for not thinking that through. Ultimately, I'm glad that Splash Mountain's going the way of the dodo. Can't wait for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I guess this whole movie has been a jumping off point for topics of racism, hasn't it? And we'll get to The Princess and the Frog. We will, eventually. And we'll unpack a little bit of that, probably. Ultimately, I still like the Crows. They're less abrasive than most caricatures I've seen in other cartoons. Even from the same studio. Like, even from Disney. Like, God, there are, like, Lady and the Tramp, the Aristocats have the cats, that are less than savory, because, and I think the reason is because in those instances, they're supposed to be comedic, and in this instance, the Crows don't feel like they're the butt of a joke. The joke is more on Timothy and Dumbo. It's like, Dumbo flew? It's like, what? What are they doing up there? It's just our lead-in. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah, they are generally helpful characters, and whatever way you look at it, for me, there's nostalgia tied to them, and we're gonna get to some Disney stuff that does resonate as uncomfortable with me. And I think part of it is because they're not the joke. They're not the punchline. Like, a lot of these cases, a lot of the punchlines that actually, like, even, it's like this movie is actually kind of conscious of it a little bit. I mean, even the Roustabout song is not a joke or a punchline. It's just naively misguided on trying to tackle race issues in circus and the people that work on the ground trying to set up tents and shit. It's like, I suppose they were trying to be conscientious of, like, people being treated as grunt workers, but at the same time, no, didn't do such a great job. As far as the Crows are concerned, they're kind of laid-back, easygoing fellas that don't have any attachment to the racism angle because they're Crows. They have attachment to the racism angle for being racist caricatures. You can't remove that. For all that intents and purposes, just can't remove that. And again, even their vocal affectations are kind of tame. You notice that? Especially if you are like me and have seen Song of the South, the vocal affectations are very tame with these guys. Not gonna lie. I mean, they're there, like, oh my god, like, I could quote, but I really don't want to quote. Because, just because I can, just doesn't mean I should. God. But yeah, no. So yeah, that's Dumbo for you. It's a delightful little movie with a few cute moments, a lot of jokes, and a little bit of racism, which is not great. But even the most racist, like the actually most racist caricatures, the crows, are actually fun characters to watch. They don't make me nearly as uncomfortable as other things that I've seen. Just not gonna... When one of your voice actors for doing a black voice caricature is white, it's basically cartoon, it's blackface, but it's animated blackface, as opposed to, you know, wearing the makeup. Just, somebody stop me. Okay. But a fun movie, honestly. I would definitely say go into it with kids, with the knowledge that, yes, there are references here to performances by white actors wearing black makeup in a staged vaudevillian performance, and while this was never okay for them to do, they thought it was okay. And while they thought it was okay, it was never an okay thing to do. But to pretend that these kind of minstrel shows never existed would be to erase history. So here they are, codified as the crows by their costuming and their vocal performance in this movie, as a great demonstration for kids as to what it kind of looks like. I mean, even their beaks being yellow as a lighter color to their fur is also a pretty good example of how they do minstrel show makeup. But if you want a more direct example, just show them the cartoon where Mickey Mouse and friends do blackface. That exists. So anyway, that's gonna be all for this week. This was fun, I suppose. Depending on who you are, this is probably very fun or very unfun. I probably alienated a lot of people by saying that I like the crows, even while admitting how racist they are. But to put not too fine a point out of it, I think a lot of people could definitely find that Walter White is one of their favorite characters in television, and he's not exactly a great guy as a person in character. So just because someone as a character in one way or another is problematic doesn't mean you're problematic for liking them. So, and we're probably gonna say that again when we get to other movies that also have some racisms in them. Though I'm probably not gonna be very kind to those characters either. But we'll see what happens. This is what a live reaction is for, right? So thank y'all so much for joining me, and for I stopped voicing Piranha Plant from a comic dub. Almost did a Levi Stubbs impression without really thinking. Yeah. And to say nothing of the Piranha Plant being red with white polka dots and having giant white lips, which, when you're drawing a cartoon plant, you're not really thinking about those things. Thanks, Japan. God. But I could go into the philosophies of how using those giant tube lips, like, painted on clowns or on cartoon fish, like, is like, you don't think about it, and these designs end up sticking because of that. And it's like cartoon characters wearing gloves. It becomes innocuous to a certain point where it's like, just be aware of what they're mostly coming from, and don't ignore that fact if people call you out for it. It's like, yes, but I have understood that context and decided to remove it from that. Like the cartoon characters in Cuphead wearing white gloves. It's like, you know, that's a holdover. Actually, if we're gonna be socially conscious and aware, and this isn't to call out the MDHR or any of the animators, but keep an eye out. If you're playing Cuphead, when you're playing the Ribby and Croaks level, take a close look at the fireflies. Just saying. Some of these things just slip under the radar. But until next time, thank you all so much for joining me, and if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. And remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Black Lives Matter, everybody.